Welcome to the finale of Comic Shop Team Up. I am your host, Anthony Desiato, joined once more, as always, by the owner of Fat Moose Comics in Whippany, New Jersey, Shawn Hendricks.
Now the end is near, and so I face the... Sorry, getting maudlin because I'm going to miss our chats.
I know. I look at this as a see you later, not a farewell.
Okay, all right.
As we discussed in our last episode, you know, this Comic Shop Team Up YouTube series is always game for a return engagement. You and I have a fun run of My Comic Shop History episodes planned for next year. So there will always be more. But yes, this is the end of our springtime run of Comic Shop Team Up. Listen, I want to thank everyone who has watched, whether you've watched one or all of them. I really do appreciate it, especially those who have liked and shared and commented. You know, it's always great to hear, you know, what people think. And thankfully, it seems like people have enjoyed it. So, I'm very pleased, and I appreciate everyone who's checked it out.
Yeah, me too. It's funny because my girl, I'll ask her, like, did you watch it? She goes, I can't watch it while you're home. It's weird if you're in the next room and I'm watching you, so she waits till I'm here at the shop and then she'll watch it, but I said, I guess that makes a certain kind of sense. It's like, it's weird to be watching me doing this. Meanwhile, I'm like sitting across the living room on the couch reading a comic book. So I get it.
Yeah.
But yeah, people seem to dig it more or less,
I also got to give, once again, thanks to Basic Printer, who did our music, and Philtastic Phil, who did the art. So, I plugged his YouTube channel in a previous installment, and I'll do it again. Check out Philtastic Phil. There's a link in the description of this YouTube video if you want to go there directly. I don't know if you've seen, he did a recent video. I think this was the one. I might be mixing it up, but I think this was the one where he went through his... the stack of books that he picked up at his LCS, aka Fat Moose Comics. And you and I both commented on this. I feel like, and it's not like he's doing a full-on impression of you, but in the video, he did talk about, having a conversation with
Sounded
you.
nothing like me.
There was a little bit like he quoted you, and again, he wasn't doing a full-on impression, but there was a little bit of an air of Shawn Hendricks that he captured, and it was very slight, and it was just for a second, but I was like, oh, he got it.
Yeah, he caught a bit of the inflection correctly. Yeah, Phil, and by the time this is released in 2023 or whenever this is coming out, he reached out to me in the past and said he wanted to come by and film some segments here for his YouTube channel, which I'm sure by now have already been up. But he asked, can I come by? And I said, all right, not on a Tuesday or a Wednesday. And that week was the week that previews was due. So I said, and not on Thursday because I got to get my previews order in. So he came by on that Friday and just filmed a little bit around the store and talked to me for a bit. I think, because it hasn't happened yet, because this is the way time works. So that'll be cool. There was a guy, I don't know if you saw the video, months ago, came in with his little daughter. I think her name was Sheena. She was a firecracker. She was a cute little kid. And he was filming for his YouTube channel where he goes to different places and looks for horror stuff. And this is back when I saw the Horror Corner, which has now been turned into more shelving for recent books, current books, because I just order so much. I order so many damn titles. I'm constantly running out of room to display them. But he came in and filmed, and I forgot all about it. And then weeks and weeks later, I saw it on YouTube. I'm like, oh my God, that's the guy who filmed. And it turns out he's got his own YouTube channel. If I could remember it, I would certainly plug it. But, the brain's not working so well. But it was so cool that this guy out of nowhere came in and he looked through the horror boxes and he saw the decorations and he gave a very, put up a very complimentary video about the shop. I mean, every bit helps,
Yeah, that's very cool. And, it's great to have that out there. Someone might see that and decide to, pay a visit. So I think that's really cool. So, I wanted to ask you, and I know I put you on the spot in one of our earlier installments, and I'll do it one more time now in the finale. I mean, is there anything we haven't talked about in these now 12 episodes that you would like to?
See, I hate when you do this to me.
All right. Again, all right. Then
no.
We'll leave it at that. I don't say this to be burdensome or to put you on the spot. I just want to make sure that you have the opportunity should you want it. That's all.
No, I appreciate that, but I can't think of any. I mean, God, how many hours have we spoken? Like, I would wonder, between the podcast and the movie, and now the video pods, we've spoken quite a bit. Sometimes we even talk about comic books, which is, bizarre. But I can't. We've spoken about facial hair and bourbon and The Office and like any number of things. And that there was a puppet last time. Which again, I apologize.
It's
I
all
know that
good.
was an unsolicited puppetry. What I should have done is gotten Zach here to actually do real puppetry because he's the pro. I'm just
Oh, speaking of Zach, we mentioned him in I guess the last episode about, he was surprised at how young you are. So
no, how young I appear.
how
I'm actually
yes,
very friggin' old.
right. But so, I've talked on multiple podcasts, including this one, about my love for Zack Snyder's Superman and Superman and his DC movies generally. No, that's it. Zach feels as opposite as one could feel, right? He's not a fan, and he's not shy about reminding me every instance that he gets that he doesn't like the movies.
He's a bit of a ball buster. I can respect that.
Sure. So, but it was recently his birthday, and I had to have a little fun. So, as you know, and maybe some of our viewers remember, I made a documentary film all about Zach and his pursuit of a career in the field of puppetry. It's called Wacky Man: The Rise of a Puppeteer. And to bust his balls, I took the movie poster and I made it black and white. And I put up this post about how, since Zach loves Zack Snyder's movies so much, just as Snyder put out a black and white version of Justice League, I was going to put out a black and white version of that documentary called Wackiness is Gray, the Wackiness is Gray edition. And I amused myself to no end. Like you don't even know. And it got a nice number of likes and all that stuff, but I was so pleased with myself.
I was so proud of you because for a second I believed it. Like I was like, oh my God, this is such like a ball busting movie. To be like, I'm just gonna like, no, that was I applaud you, sir. Look, I don't know if you've ever worked like in retail. I mean, aside from of course with AR. Well, no, I'm saying like, but working in a restaurant for 26 years, the level of ball bustery that happens, I saw people leave there in tears because they just couldn't take the ribbing. And I've always had a pretty thick skin and I can dish it out twice as hard as I can take it, so I've actually had a customer who was delivering pizza locally and he had asked like, well, it's pretty slow. Can I get a job? Can you recommend me for your place? I'm like, dude, we wouldn't last an hour at that place because it's such ball breaking. So, and it happens here at the comic shop and I'm sure it happened at AR quite a bit. So to see you though, take that and really, the wackiness is great. It was spot on. I was so proud of you. Like that was A+, man.
I appreciate that. It was easy to do the poster. If I had had a little more time, I maybe would have done a black and white trailer. I mean, because to be honest, to like throw a black and white filter over the existing trailer would not take much. I mean, if I really wanted to fine tune it and go in and like really color grade it and all that stuff, that would take a long time. But to just like throw a black and white filter on it, I could have done it. Maybe for his next birthday.
It was really funny. That was I got to give you kudos on that one, man. That was good. What was his reaction?
He laughed. No, he took it in stride. No, he was a good sport about it. And no, I mean that's the thing. And yeah, that was very much the atmosphere at Alternate Realities was busting chops and it's funny. It's especially these days. You look back and it's like I don't think a lot of that stuff would really fly now.
Well, believe me, here to this day, we really push the line. But as long as it's the core group, you know what I mean?
Right.
And as soon as somebody we don't know comes in, everybody's on their best behavior. But it's when we're left to our own devices. It's funny because Justin becomes a punching bag a little bit, only for the reason that he's so nice, that he's so hesitant to hit back, and we could break his balls and be like, oh yeah, that's really funny, guys. And it's like Ming Chen on Comic Book Men. Mm-hmm. He was always kind of like the go-to, like, let's bust Ming's balls. And Justin could take it. He doesn't get upset. He doesn't get angry, but he's just kind of like, all right, very funny, But, and I take it easy on him most of the time. But I got in a habit weeks ago of if I needed him to do something, I would channel my inner Superman 1 and yell, Miss Tessmacher!
Nice.
So he became known, colloquially around here as Miss Tessmacher. I'm like, Miss Tessmacher, I need you to ring up this customer.
Oh, you couldn't even
And
call him by his actual name in that tone. You had to, you even called him Miss
yeah, it was
Tessmacher.
Miss Tessmacher. But only when, we were feeling goofy. And he laughed. He thought it was funny. Like, he didn't take umbrage. He was like, it's kind of goofy. And then one of my friends, who isn't really even a customer, he's been here maybe twice, out of nowhere, he brought me a little bell, one of those little, like you would see on a countertop, a little ding. I said, why'd you bring this? He goes, I don't know. Maybe you need it for something. So then I combined that with Miss Tessmacher, and I'd be like, bing, 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 Miss Tessmacher, bring me bags and boards, And to Justin's credit, and I love that guy, he's like, without Justin, I'd be dead. Like, he is my go-to, like, Justin, I need help with this. I need you to cover for me. I don't feel well, or I got a gig. And he's absolutely the best. But doesn't mean I can't bust his balls.
Yeah, no, he's a lovely guy, and he sent me some really nice notes about the Superman podcast I've been doing, and talked about
he loves it, man. And he's like you, he's a huge Smallville fan.
Yeah.
To the point where he was almost chagrined that he wasn't invited to speak about it. I'm like, Justin, you got to understand, he's got other people. I said, your day will come. Your day will come.
There you go. But yeah, he's a great guy, and I'm glad that he's able to, be part of your community and contribute the way he does. I want to bring this full circle here, right? In our first episode, we talked about store slogans, catchphrases, right? And, for alternate realities, appropriately or not, we landed on friendship and fun, thanks to Rich Roney. For you, we've stuck with, tentatively at least, books and booze. And I'm just curious now, we've been doing this for a few months. You've had now a few more months under your belt as owner. Is there anything else that's sort of kind of come into focus for you as the sort of like the calling card of Fat Moose Comics?
The one that's been used a lot, and it's very appropriate, is it's Lunar's fault.
I was not expecting that.
It's absolutely true. It's, hey, well, where's Batman Fortnite? Well, it's Lunar's fault. Where's this? Why don't you have Justice League number 60? I'm like, talk to Lunar, because they won't talk to me. Like, it's
all right. That's great.
Terrible. They've been terrible, man. In every shop. When I got my second vaccine dose, I was in South Jersey, and I went down. I did the whole, hey Siri, where's the closest comic shop? And I found a place in Somerville called Comics Fortress. Beautiful place. Owner was awesome. We talked for a long time. He's having problems with Lunar. My friend Bradley, who owns Expired Robot in Kenilon, having problems with Lunar. Like, the only guy I know who's not having problems with Lunar is Ray at Ray and Judy's Book Stop, because he stopped carrying DC books. He's like, I don't need this hassle. We were on the phone today, and he's like, hey, what's up? I'm like, friggin' Lunar. He's like, the smartest decision I ever made was, because he's an actual bookstore.
Right.
New and used books and paperbacks, and he happens to carry some comics. So when they made this switch, he was like, I'm not putting up with it. But no, the go-to, honestly, the phrase spoken the most in here by me is a variation of Books and Booze. It's the drinking helps.
No.
People are like, oh, what's up? Oh, well, I didn't get this delivery, and this was damaged, and this, and then I go, but the drinking helps. And it always gets a chuckle.
All right.
Unbeknownst to them, like, the drinking helps.
Well, I know I've seen you post photos of your drink in the shower, and I do get a little worried for you. I'm like, I hope he's all right.
No. Believe me, I'm much more moderate than people think. I have this persona of Shawn's, half drunk all the time and all drunk the rest. But no, it's I wouldn't be able to do this.
Right. No, I definitely, I can appreciate that. So yeah, the drink
got a little Dean Martin vibe. Dean Martin was like always like, oh, he's drinking. Half the time it was like iced tea in a rocks glass.
Right. I thought you were going to say, come for the comics, stay for the cocktails. That's where I thought
that was a good one. Yeah, that was one that I came up with when you put me on the spot when we did the episode at your condo.
Yes.
100 years ago. Yeah.
That was a little bit ago.
Yeah, it was a nice place. It was small, but it was nice.
So, yes, it was.
That's what she said.
So yeah, like that was a 1-bedroom, and when it was just my wife and myself, it was fine. Once we expanded, then we needed to move, and thankfully we have. And
aggressive expansion.
Flat Squirrel Studios was born, and that's how I'm able to do all these podcasts, because now I have a place to go to do them. I don't have to take over the living room like those times when you came. But it's sad. I was thinking about this. it's like, I don't know. Like at some point, I mean, you're always welcome. It's like at some point I would love to have you come here and we'll record something in Flat Squirrel Studios. But I was like, when can this guy possibly come? It's like it's one day off. And even then he's probably busy with stuff. I mean, I'm sure at some point in the future we'll figure something out, but it's not as easy as it was before.
No, but for you, my friend, I would make the time. And I have your address. So I may show up uninvited.
That's right. I know I showed this before, but just in case anyone missed our earlier episode, you sent this to my home address.
That thing, I'm so glad you dig it because I actually have something else that I'm considering sending to you as a surprise. It's a graphic novel, but you would really dig it. It may have something to do with Superman, may not. I don't know, but
I'm very intrigued. Well,
you know what? I'm just gonna send it to you, dude, because it's. Well, I'll tell you what it is. What the hell? We're amongst friends. It's the Superman Up in the Sky collected edition. Are you familiar with this?
Oh, the Tom King?
Yeah. Did you read it?
I've not read it. It's actually on my list of something to cover on my Superman podcast in the future. So that would be fantastic.
I'm going to send it to you this week. It's so good. Like it's gonna be on your top 5. Whoa. I know you love. Well, Birthright's your favorite, right?
Yeah.
Well, how do you feel about All-Star Superman?
I'm a fan. I wasn't quite as enamored by it as others were, but I'm in the midst, as of this recording, I'm in the midst of rereading Morrison's new X-Men run, and I'm enjoying it like way more than I did the first time around. And so when I revisit All-Star Superman next year, probably on Digging for Kryptonite, I don't know, my perspective might change. I'm hoping that I'll appreciate it even more. But yeah, I've definitely been intrigued by Up in the Sky. And like I said, it's on the list for next year. That'd be great. Thank you.
Yeah, I had like 3 or 4 copies they sold. I set one aside with you in mind because I had forgotten to ask you if you had read it. It's really good, man. And I read it in single issues. So I'm thinking of ordering one for myself, just to have the collected edition. But it's one of those things, like I as good as it was, there were some delays, I believe. But it's like the Tom King stuff. It reads better in a clump, I believe. But it's really good, man. It's gonna if it doesn't make it into your top 5 Superman stories, then I will be disappointed.
All right. Well, I'll try not.
Not in you. I'll be disappointed in the creative team because they obviously couldn't crack the top 5. But no, I'm gonna drop that in the mail on Tuesday. Yeah, because that's when I hit the post office. But I was going to do it as a surprise, but then I would have felt bad, like if you had already had it, you'd be like, I kind of already have this. So the fact that you don't have it, you're going to have it, and we're going to talk about it.
All right.
Which is kind of my backdoor way of making sure I get onto another podcast.
I think we can make that happen. We'll talk. Listen, on that note, that's going to do it for Comic Shop Team Up for now, at least. But thank you for coming along on this ride. This was fun. This was really born more than anything else out of just wanting to chat with you and have fun conversations and we did, just as I knew we would. So thank you to everyone who's checked this out. Thank you to Basic Printer. Thank you to Philtastic Phil. And, make sure you check out other podcasts and documentaries from Flat Squirrel Productions. Make sure you go check out Fat Moose Comics if you're in New Jersey. And if not, maybe give the shop a call or shoot them a message and, you can order something, right, to be delivered.
As long as they don't call on a Wednesday.
On a Wednesday. That's right, my friend. Don't call on a Wednesday. Yeah, I'm just trying to. I really think.
Well, why are you getting sad?
I know it's like I don't want to end it because I know you set me up for it, and then I was just like, no, I'm not ready yet. But no, I
Listen, you'll always be in my heart, Anthony. It's fine.
Yes, and these episodes that we've done, they'll be out there, and I do hope that people will, will continue to come to them in the future, even if we're not putting out fresh installments. And listen, I can't wait until the next time I am actually at Fat Moose Comics, now that we thankfully seem to be coming out of this pandemic. You and I are vaccinated, all that good stuff.
And you have to bring your mom.
Yes, my mother wants to visit. So
yeah.
So there's a lot of good stuff in store. The 40th anniversary of Fat Moose next year. It's a lot of good stuff.
And the 50th anniversary of me.
That's right.
I'm going to be 50. What happened?
Still the freshest faced comic shop clerk in New Jersey.
Sure.
And on that note, don't call on a Wednesday.